Hey everyone, this is Tyler, and welcome to episode 6 of the Alternative Dudes podcast. I just thought I'd record a brief intro just to explain the context of today's episode. So, this is our first live episode of the Alternative Dudes podcast, which was recorded at a record release party that Jebb hosted for his new project, The Lonely Isle, for his new EP, Special Angel. And we had a very great guest with us. We had Jon Soda James, who has a lot of really great stories to tell. This is by far our most inspiring. It's by far our most inspiring episode yet, and it also has a bit of technical flaws with it. So, my end may be a little bit quieter than Jebb's end and Jon's end, and it may also cut out a little bit at times. We couldn't really help that. We recorded this over Discord, so we just worked with what we have. Hopefully, if we do more live episodes, it'll be more fine polished and everything, and we'll know what we're doing. Well, not that we don't know what we're doing. We know what we're doing. We just need more practice. Also, after the interview, you get to hear Jebb's new album, so we're gonna play that right afterwards. So stick around and enjoy the show.
This is Vinyl Man Jebb with Tyler FG here from Alternative Dudes.
Hello.
And yes, I used our actual names because it's a little different. I just had myself a release party with all my amazing friends over on Discord. So you're actually going to hear them in the background a little bit too in case they cough or talk or whatever. And they're welcome to. And we have an amazing guest with us today. Is Jon Soda James. And I want him to tell me what he's from because I want to make sure I get the information right. So I want you tell me where you're from, Soda. I want to make sure I have all the information right, you know?
From
like your bands, but there's probably a lot of things, right?
well, yeah. Hi guys. Thanks
Hello.
for having me on your little thing here. It's pretty cool. Your music sounded really good.
Thank you. I really appreciate that.
What you were playing with.
I'll send you some of the stuff too. As well. Thank you.
Thanks for sharing. It's like a once upon a time kind of story, but I guess currently. My band that I was in 3 years ago, we hadn't played together in 3 years, is called Nox Cult. We just got back together. We're doing a benefit show in May. Can't promise that the band's going to stay together, but that's, I guess, musically what's happening. I've got my podcast as well. It's also a music-centric one. It's a music survival guide.
Yeah, and you had some of the Jellyfish members.
I interviewed Roger Joseph Manning Jr. actually even before I had the full-blown idea for the podcast.
Like
Music Survival Guide was existing.
Yeah.
Kind of like the story you were telling me before. It existed, but it was in like more of just like a written way. It was more like a standard blog type thing, and then it's just grown. So people could check that out, musicsurvivalguide.org, if they wanted to know more about me, officialsoda.com. On there is everything. I mean, I've been playing music forever, since I was a little kid, back in like the late 90s. I put out my first record in 1999, and I had a production deal right out of the gate, which was a pretty crazy and amazing thing.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yeah, we were young kids. We put a record out, and we got scouted at a record store, at a local record store, at an in-store that we did, actually. And it was Houston's background singers, actually.
Wow. Okay.
Oh, that's
which is kind of crazy if you think about it, I guess. She came to see some crazy rock band. Meanwhile, she's an R&B singer, but it all made sense at one point. And unfortunately, their label, all that stuff kind of stopped being a thing. But we went on, we put out a second record, and then I had gone on for so long and done a bunch of other projects. I've had, a bunch of songs and movies. The last thing, I just licensed two old songs actually, to a movie called Happiness Adjacent, which just came out about a year ago.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's a cool movie. It was actually all shot on an iPhone.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, they did a really, really great job. I mean, these guys are called Guest House Films, and they're based out in California.
Well, that's awesome.
They've got maybe like 5 or 6 films under their belt now. And they approached me for 2 older songs, so of course I said yes. The movie was good. It was a good movie. I really appreciate their approach to stuff. And what else? I know Jebb mentioned before we started going live here, you wanted me to mention Gotham, the show Gotham. I worked on Gotham.
That's
Oh
awesome.
yeah, I really.
That's
Yeah,
actually
that
what
was-
I
that
billed
was
you
actually
for this
gonna be
party.
my,
I was like, this guy was in Gotham.
That's funny. Yeah, hey man, if that's my claim to fame at the moment, I'll take it. Sure.
All right.
That was actually going to be my question. Was how did you get involved with Gotham?
Well, towards the early stages of my band that I mentioned earlier, Nox Cult, the one that just recently got back together, we had done a fairly recent photo shoot early on into, as we were lining stuff up to kind of get the band in shape and get like the internet presence out there, starting to play shows and everything. Obviously, we did like a somewhat professional photo shoot. And there was a post on Twitter, a friend of mine that had forwarded me that Gotham was looking for real musicians with like a punk rock, quote unquote punk rock edgy look.
Oh,
And I was like, well, you know what? I mean, I just got these photos taken, and I can, if they're looking for like a punk or whatever kind of musician, I'm sure I could figure it out as I go along. So I submitted my headshot, and I mean, within 48 hours, I was in Wardrobe in Brooklyn.
Wow. Okay.
No, that's awesome.
That's how it happened. And it was really cool because the first 2 times that I was on Gotham, I wasn't like a background person, so to speak, but I wasn't a main actor of any kind at all. But I was kind of like in between that. I was the lead singer guitar player in the Penguins band at his lounge.
Oh, that's sick.
And yeah, the first season we are in 2 episodes. My filmography is on my site, so I don't know the exact episodes. And then I did a 3rd episode where like you'll see the exact opposite. Maybe my hair was in it, maybe. And it was like, shoot, I don't know, like a 12-hour day. And I don't even know if I really got on camera for that one. But the 4th time was really neat because we shot and it was another crazy, crazy long day. But I was one of like the Joker's followers, and there's a really cool scene where you see me kick a door open and I'm running away from the cops.
That's awesome. Oh,
Yeah, it was
so
fun.
Batman.
It was really cool.
Yeah. What?
So I'm immortalized in the Batman.
That is
No,
cool.
keep going.
Yeah.
Oh wait, hold on.
There we
Something's
go.
happening.
Yeah, the
I
voice
can hear you
is.
now. Ask
Yeah,
me
it
again.
goes in and out. Yeah. Tyler, did you ask a
Yeah.
question?
So, what specific episodes were these? Do you remember? Or
Well, I mean, again, I don't want to even sound pretentious, but I'll just say it again. My filmography that makes me sound so fancy is on my website, officialsoda.com. It's the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd season. The first are the best because that's when I was the singer guitar player in the Penguins lounge band, and the 3rd episode, I mean, I'm barely in there. I'm like a ghost. And then the 4th one is cool because I'm like one of the Joker's followers, and I'm running away from the cops and kicking stuff over. So it was kind of fun.
dude, yeah,
But,
that's fucking awesome.
Yeah, it was really, really cool. And then, and this kind of goes for me, that goes for you guys, it goes for anybody that's listening that's interested in the artist world. And when I say artist, I mean like all encapsulating music, being a writer, being an artist, whatever. You kind of never know when stuff is going to happen. You know what I mean? And you never know. That's why it's so important just to kind of be out and run around and meet people and talk to people like Jebb, his story with Ken. That's how it starts,
Yeah.
and that's how you remember it. You never know what's going to come from that.
Well, I met you
I mean,
through that. I met everybody through that. It's like my Facebook became this like ultimate
That's
hub.
the thing.
It's so cool.
Right, that's
Yeah.
how we connected through music, and that's a beautiful thing. I mean, music is like ingrained in my soul. It's a huge part of my life. It's been a huge part of my. It still is. It's a little less than it was just because I haven't been playing in bands so much. I've been doing some more like physical art
Oh, that's
work. I've been doing some writing. I've been doing my music survival guide thing. But just last night I worked for Bumblefoot, who worked with Guns N' Roses,
Are you
Jason Dealer,
serious?
who worked with Side
Ah!
Yeah,
I was just listening to
I did,
Democracy today. Chinese
that's
Democracy.
so funny.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good record. It's a
That's-
good record.
I
I
like
know
it.
it took like 20 years to come out. I like it too.
I like the
But
Buckethead's on it
Bumblefoot
too.
is so sweet. He's super sweet. He's very quiet.
That's awesome.
But I got to work at their show last night. I did merch for Jason from Saigon Kick, and my friend Andy actually came in and played guitar. And Andy's in KMFDM now, so it was kind of like just this whole melting pot of really cool people, doing cool stuff. And I had worked with Jason last time he was here, and he contacted me again if I could help him out. So I drove right on into the city. I did a back-to-back gig with him, and I don't know. I got home super late. We had to take our dog to the vet at 7 o'clock this morning. He just had surgery, so it's been like one of those weeks, nonstop.
And I'm just like, hey, you want to like last minute be a special guest at my jeez. And then you were just like, yeah. And I'm like, holy crap. Well, yeah.
That's the thing. I've got so many crazy stories like that. Are you guys familiar with Nuno Betancourt from Extreme?
Yes. Yep.
Sort of, yeah.
Yeah, I'm a big fan.
When I was a little kid, Nuno and Gary changed my life. They were like a big reason why I wanted to play music and sing and do all this other crazy stuff. So they kind of helped carve a path out. So fast forward to a bunch of years later when I was in a band called His Mighty Robot. We were together for 7 years. We did a lot of really, really great stuff. You guys might like that music a lot because you're kind of like old souls. You seem like you're
I'm
very
like a 60-year-old and a 18, 19. What age am I? God.
But it's so crazy. I kind of got that vibe right away. But that band in particular, we're it was very 90s influenced. People compare us a lot to like The Cure, Smashing Pumpkins,
Mighty Lemon Drops kind of stuff.
Pixies, Voodoo, all that stuff.
Yeah.
But it was really, really emotional. Like some of it was heavy-handed. I mean, I tend to write a lot of sad songs, even though I'm not necessarily as emo as I used to be, I guess.
Yeah.
But anyway, so yeah, fast forward a bunch of years later, I was doing street team work for one of Nuno Betancourt's new projects, and I contacted his manager. So I drove out to Virginia to see him play. And Charlie, his manager at the time, introduced me. I gave Nuno some music. The very next night, he calls me on my phone telling me that he loves my stuff.
Oh,
and
holy shit.
15 years later, we've been like super close best friends. He played with Rihanna for 7 years, guitar for her. I had like insane tickets to go see Rihanna. He was here, when did I see him last? He was doing that Generation X thing with Steve Vai, Zach Wilde.
Yeah, my uncle went to go see them, and Zach Wilde went right next to him.
All those loony guitar players, and he takes care of me every time he's in town. He's such a great guy. I mean, Nuno, he knows how I feel. He thinks I'm crazy at this point, because every time I see him, we've been friends for so long right now, but I'm always like, oh God, Nuno. He's like, I get it, I know. He's like, get over that. We're buddies now,
You know what you should do? You should have him come up with a podcast. That'd be so.
I would love to try to get him. Actually,
you
just
and
opened
him
his own
both.
production company.
Oh, sweet.
Nuno's amazing. I mean,
because he could talk about anything. We're open to anything.
That's great. That's the way you should be, But there's all those crazy stories, and all these guys that I get to kind of do stuff with are all guys that influenced me when I was really young. And then when I got out more and I started to kind of get what I had to do to make a connection, just basically pound the pavement and, do whatever, is why I've been able to kind of get these contacts and be friendly with these guys and work with these guys and whatever else. And so that's why, I mean, you guys are kind of just starting out.
And
so
the
you're on
posies
the
have
right
been both
track.
of our, like, how we each have one of the posies as like our starting here. It's kind of cool. It's like a forging.
That's actually what I was just about to say too, because
because you got John and I got Ken.
It's more so with Jebb, but like what you have, John, like how you started out is kind of like how how we're starting out, with John and Ken on our side, like.
And and it's so
Jebb
cool that these artists are really nice. Like, you don't expect it, and then all of a sudden they're humble about their.
Well, you gotta also kind of think that now the Posies, again, they had their time.
That's
what I mean?
true,
not that it's their time, but at this point in these careers of all these guys that have kind of done it for so long and are still doing it, they come back, and the audiences are a little bit smaller, but then they meet guys like you and you're doing it too, you know, and they're these wise souls that there's nothing to lose for them to not be cool guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe when they were younger, they could have be dicks because they were being wined and dined. The
Yep.
Posies have probably been I'm sure on numerous soundtracks in fucking movies. I
Yeah,
don't know them as well as you do. I really, really like the Posies. I kind of think I slept on the Posies throughout the time that I should have been listening to them because I only really kind of got into them within the last 2 years, believe it or not.
See, for you,
Well, it's never
with the
too
Posies,
late.
it's me with Jellyfish. And when I got into Jellyfish, let me tell you, I'm never getting out. They are so damn
Right,
good.
well, yeah, exactly. I mean,
Yeah.
again, Extreme and Jellyfish and Saigon Kick and those bands
They're so also good.
made me kind of who I am, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I've had the opportunity to interview Roger from
Which
Jellyfish,
is so cool.
hang out with Nuno, have him call me and tell me that he likes my work, have
That's
Jason from
awesome.
Saigon Kick call me to help him out at a gig in the city. So, although, you know, we're not like these big shit famous rock stars like these guys were or still even are, but it's like we're able to have these really great, amazing stories
Give you
that
a reason to
can
focus
inspire
and live.
other. You know what I mean? Because when I
Yeah.
tell these stories, I don't tell these stories because I want to sound like
No,
a
yeah,
big
yeah.
shot. I tell these stories because one, they're awesome stories. They're awesome stories. Two, I want people to know that it's like totally possible. Like my whole thing now, even when I was a little kid, I always just wanted to connect with people because when I would sit in my room and listen to records, these records saved my life. And all I ever wanted to do was be able to write songs and have people tell me that they relate to this and, you know, they get this and they feel something from it. That was my whole goal the whole time. And so I might not be like super rich and I make a living throughout 800 different things to make ends meet, but I've had like really amazing experiences, you know, so I'm very lucky in that aspect.
Yeah, that's amazing. It's
From Gotham to like last night working that gig in the city, and I walk into a room and like Bumblefoot and Andy from KMFDM and Jeff Scott Soto, all these guys are like, "Hey Soto, what's up? We heard you were coming." I'm like, that's so weird to me, you know?
God. That's like when I like the Posies thing. Like you walk in and John comes right up to you and he goes, "Jeremy Edmond." I'm like, what? It's nuts.
Yeah,
It's
I
such
mean,
a good
right.
experience.
So-
yeah.
You made an impression.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you're coming off crazy, but you know, because I'm sure all these guys have dealt, trust me, with their fair share of crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Definitely.
And they know who comes correct and who doesn't at this point. You know, I'm sure they have their like radars and they've honed in their
You learn,
senses on
yeah.
who's like kind of. Yeah, no, you definitely learn, especially
Yeah.
again guys like that have been doing that since they've been super young. 30 years later, they're still doing it. You know.
They're definitely gonna know. Yeah.
But anyway, I mean, you know, we could go on and on all night about that stuff. We could talk
That's
about
awesome.
Jellyfish, the Posies, Extreme Saigon Kick. Once I get rolling, forget it. But I
Well,
don't
that's
know.
why we want
like
to have you on
the
again.
the
This
hand-
is kind of just a quick
Yeah.
notice. We want to have you on again because I'm planning. This is the biggest thing I want to really do, and Tyler and I have discussed this: is have multiple artists on at the same time talking about bands that have inspired them. Because like you see, everybody have the one-time
like a
artist.
round
Everybody,
table.
yeah, like around exactly like Nights of the Round. Like I was thinking of having you, trying to get Ken back on, and this gives those artists an opportunity to meet those artists.
I
It's
love
helping
it.
everybody, and I love that idea. So we're just gonna try to work it out.
I would love it.
That's all. Yeah, we're glad to have you on
Yeah,
board.
I
And guys,
mean,
if you're new to
keep
this,
posted.
listening in here, on the either if you're watching on Twitch or if you're watching on the Alternative Dudes channel where I'm gonna post this, is that if you're in a band or anything, small or big, just let me know. We'll have you up. This is for everyone. This isn't just for like people that have been. I mean, I love listening to like having Soda here with wise stories and telling like all these tales. It's awesome because you get like this feeling of like you could do anything. You can if you just work enough, and even if you, sometimes it's just putting your foot in the right door.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't
Right.
want to message
I mean,
Ken.
you
You
never
know,
know.
I was worried about that, and then I did it, and look where I met you. You know, I
Yeah,
met Soda.
You
because-
see, it's different now.
yeah,
Because all of these people are on the internet, and you could just reach out to
it's a lot
anybody.
different. Yeah.
And they, you know, if they respond to you and you make a connection, that's great. Just even a couple weeks ago, I went to see Blind Melon. I still love Blind Melon.
That's awesome.
Travis Warren is the singer after Shannon Hoon, and he's
Yeah.
unbelievable. He's been in that band for like 14 years now.
Wow.
You know, it's so sad that Shannon is gone because
That's
he was
tragedy,
amazing.
yeah.
Travis is incredible, but Chris Shin opened for them now. Chris Shin was in Unified Theory, and Unified Theory was Brad and Christopher from Blind Melon and Dave Cruson from Pearl Jam.
Oh,
shit,
So when
yeah.
Shannon passed, they did Unified Theory, and Chris Shin opened the show. And after the show, I spoke to Chris about possibly getting him on the Music Survival Guide podcast, and he was like, "Absolutely, let's figure something out." So I'm trying to kind of
That's
like
awesome.
reel that in still, but that's just the thing. So guys, I'm telling you, go out to shows, have some like halfway decent promotional stuff with you, postcards, cards, whatever. Go to them. You got to be confident. Don't be shy. Don't be weird. Just be like, "Hey, man, you know, I love your work. I do this really, really super cool podcast. I would love to maybe have the opportunity to interview you." And they're going to consider it. They're going to at least consider it.
Yeah.
If not, you're going to seal the deal.
Well, it's
yes,
like I've been
totally.
experienced. I went to Brian Wilson Live, and they had a band open for them that was like a folk duo. It was a girl and a guy, and they're called Beetroot Revival. And they're insane. They're really good.
Cool.
And I asked them, and they're like, "Yeah, definitely. I just haven't had a time to get because we were on a hiatus and everything. So I have their number and everything, and I'm gonna call them up and have them on." But there's also like I almost met Alice Cooper. I met the bass player and the drummer of the original Alice Cooper group.
Yeah, I remember you. I remember
That
you telling me
weekend
this story, yeah.
because they were at the 4.5 Fest, and I got all my stuff signed. But I don't know how I got backstage, but the bands liked me. They just liked that I talked about music and everything, so they brought me backstage. And Dennis freaking just walks by me and goes, "I remember you from last night." I was like, "Ah!" I was like, so it was so cool. But it is true, and I definitely Soda's guys definitely is just awesome that it works out because the music world. I think there is a connecting energy. You know, it's interesting.
Well, I mean, you know, you could do a lot more now.
Yeah, that's definitely true.
It's weird. It's like I'm kind of like in a weird transitional phase of it because I'm like almost at the point where I'm like maybe slightly jaded about stuff because you know I had a production deal and I've been in these really, really super cool bands where you know one of my bandmates committed suicide a couple
jeez.
years.
Oh, jeez.
My partner for the longest time, H. Rocker and his Mighty Robot, we were together for 7 years. She passed away. Her heart just stopped.
Really?
And
jeez.
yeah, and before that, my ex guitar player died of brain cancer. So
Jeez.
it's so important. It's so important. Like that's what I'm saying, guys. And they're important stories, and like I tell them because they're important stories. And again, I want people to just kind of, you know, take something from our conversation that it wasn't just all noise. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
So
And that's
it's
why.
just because you never know what's going to happen. You know, my bass player in my band now, Knox, called his dad has stage 4 pancreatic cancer. That is why this band is back together. We're doing a benefit show for him on Long Island, May 19th at like a really small club. We're going to totally people are going to be standing in the street. It's going to be a sick night.
And that's
I mean,
this is the
you're
Max
in
Colt one,
Connecticut,
right?
you guys?
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys are kind of close if you want to come out. I mean, we'll try to take care of you as best as we can. We'll give you a bunch of
where
cool
is this?
swag. We'll hang out all night.
Where is
It's at the Village Pub again, which is like a super small place on Long Island. The flyer's on Facebook. It's there.
Into it.
So
Definitely. For those that just recently came in, like, hi, Start Time, how are you? We're doing a live podcast, doing with this guest here, Soda. And I wanted to also, before we continue, I want to thank you for something that you did for me, John. Back when I was really not feeling that great about music, and you said message me anytime. I don't know, it meant a lot to me. Thank you. It really did.
Yeah.
It's something that it's a small thing you could have done, and it worked. Look, this album's out. That's why I wanted you to be the guest. I was like, you know what? Without, I wouldn't have started my solo stuff. My band just broke up at the time, and I really thank you for that. And you had the wisdom to say, look, it happens all the time. And I was like, yeah. And now we're getting back together, which is nice, just not with that bass player. We'll talk about this another time. But thank you so much.
Well, no, I mean that's awesome. That means a lot to me because again, at this stage of the game, especially, I just want to connect. I want to be someone that's made art that other people obviously can talk to. If you're new to it, if you're old to it, I mean, I don't know everything, you know what I mean, but I might have a tidbit of advice or information for you that might do you really good, you know. And
it's true, like, Definitely, and that's like when I go to the bars and play blues with my new band. I love blues because those older guys, they want to pass it either not on, but they want to pass it with. They want to want to teach you how to play, and then you're playing with a bunch of older guys, and it's just a good feeling because you're playing with people that know the routine and stuff, and they're teaching you. And it also goes for other things like having Ken here, because even Ken only texts me once in a while, but when I ask him a question, he answers me. That's like such unheard of, but like you said, the times have changed. Like back in the day, that probably would have never happened, and that's where I think technology does come in good. But no, definitely. So yeah, no.
Yeah, well, look at it this way. You, me, Ken Stringfellow, Nuno Betancourt, Roger Manning from Jellyfish. Nobody is ever going to know everything.
No, yeah.
So all these people, whether they're like just starting out or they're like these virtuosos that have everything in the world, you could, you're gonna probably take something from each of them, because you never know. Like there's going to be like a guy on your corner, maybe in front of a bar, playing acoustic guitar at a show one night. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he's going to just blow your mind, and no one's ever going to know who he is. No one's going to.
Yep.
He's never going to be found out. But sit there and talk to him, because he's got a story. You know what I mean?
That's,
he's got a
and
story,
that's what
and he's
I
got
love
something
doing.
It's going to take from
it's
it.
like going up to Boston and going with the street musicians. Like one of that album I was writing a concept. One of the characters' name is April. Lost in Space. The character's name is April. It's about a girl that I met in Boston who was an amazing talent, but just a street musician, But that's not. I'm not saying just in a weird way. Like just like that's what I'm saying. Like she was a street musician and she should be discovered, But the world is so different now with music, and it's always rapidly changing. That now I think heavy hard rock bands are coming back as more popular. I've just recently looked on Spotify, and 2019 it's just hard rock bands that sound like the Stones. I'm like, these guys are awesome. It was if I can't remember the name of the band. It was River something. But I just looked them up, and they're really good. And I was like, this means that there's a revival, and it's going to happen. And I just got into a blues band, so we might be hitting it at the right time. It's all about timing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, just keep doing your thing. Get out there, try to, I mean, I know it's not easy, and I know everything, life is time and money. Life is time and money.
It's very
You know
true.
what I mean? But you don't really need to be rich anymore to kind of do something. I mean, it always helps, of course. Money will always take you the farthest. But just get out there and just tell people about your stuff. Meet people. Talk to everybody.
Spot on, my friend.
I thank you so much for
on,
being
yeah.
here. I know it was like a last minute to be like, hey, let me just spice up my party, but you were my first choice. Then it was Frankie as well at the same time. I was gonna try to make a group chat, like I said, and then Arthur, and then all of them. And I was like, you know what? If one of them says yes, it means that the world to me. And it's like when you were like, I could do it. I'm like, oh my god, I was like, this is insane. And I really, I again appreciate that night talking to me, because it's like I needed that. I was ready to quit music. I was done. There's so many frustrations. But then I realized something when someone says
but no way.
Yeah.
No, you're too young to quit music.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a silly thought.
Give it 5 to 10
All
more
right.
years. The stuff that you played tonight, the stuff that you played here, the stuff that you're going to start to expose people to, you are off to a really, really great start.
I appreciate it.
Clearly, the ideas are there. If you ever needed help in producing up some songs, we could meet right in the middle. I'm in New York. I'm in Connecticut.
Oh,
That
would be fantastic. Because we got my bands and stuff, and we're just trying to figure out the band now with the drummer from the Sane Riot. We brought him back, and we just went to a Hendrix Experience concert together, the big name one where a bunch of big names play all Hendrix stuff. And he came with me. We became friends again. I told him I'd liked him to be the drummer again because I really like his style. And then I had Slim, who's the guitarist in that Riverside song I showed. And the three of us are going to remake, and I'm going to play bass. And it would be, he has a great PA and everything, but I there's so much stuff I want to learn with the editing and stuff and production that would be insane. And then also the advertisement side and all that. So I will take you on that offer, definitely. This is sweet.
Yeah, I've written so many songs, and you learn after you write songs, and you're kind of like, well, this part is amazing, but you just don't need it. You know what I mean? I had an outside producer come and was working on the third His Mighty Robot record. I don't know if you guys know AC Slade.
Why does that sound so familiar?
He used to be in Dope, used to be in the Murder Dolls. He played bass for Joan Jett and the Black Cars, and now he's the
Cool.
rhythm guitar player for all the Misfits reunion shows.
Oh,
Oh,
really?
yeah, nice.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah,
Attitude.
he used to come every weekend from Brooklyn to Long Island. I'd pick him up in the morning. He would come. He was producing up our third record. Then we went to Pennsylvania and we started recording with Virus from Dope, who was engineering our record. Virus worked with Big and Rich. Virus worked with Tony Harnell. So we had this amazing thing going. But like I said earlier, two of my bandmates passed away during the making of that.
That sucks.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Malcolm.
Yeah.
So it was
Yeah.
really confusing. It was really
It's very
confusing
conflicting.
for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine because that's just stuff I don't even like. You can't even think about. It's like, whoa, the impact on that too.
Yeah, well, who can think about it until you get that phone call and you got to think about it.
It's like, holy crap,
But
Yeah.
holy crap, I guess is like
I don't know. Yeah, it's like there's no words.
start.
There's no words. It really isn't. It's just
no word. But what's cool about His Mighty Robot is that we have two really amazing recordings out, and H Rocker Heather, we called her H Rocker.
nice.
Like her legacy lives on through this music, and
that's
His
what's
Mighty
cool about
Robot,
it too,
Open Your Mind, Const are our two releases. If anybody wants to ever go check that stuff out.
So it's this
You
mighty
guys especially,
robot.
I think would really his
Mighty
HIS,
Robot.
His Mighty
Okay.
Robot.
I'm gonna type it in the chat so I have it because I am checking it
Yeah,
out. I'm literally gonna try to buy it.
Also,
I mean,
John,
it's everywhere. It's Spotify,
Oh,
YouTube,
perfect.
iTunes. You could just talk to your device and be like, hey, whatever, play His Mighty Robot, The Conflict, and they got it for you.
all right.
All right.
Also, John, it's awesome that you name drop because he actually used to work at the place I work at now.
Wait, I'm sorry, Tyler. You cut out for a sec. Who are we talking about?
Virus.
Virus, yeah, Virus, man. He's such a great guy. I saw him back in October. He played guitar with this guy Tony Harnell, who I interviewed for Music Survival Guide. We had a great conversation, and I hadn't seen Virus in so long. Actually, he's still in Dope, and he works at like one of the School of Rocks, I think, in Pennsylvania, and he's just a great guy because he's
That's
also
where I work. Yeah.
Tyler works with him.
Up in,
he's a great guy, and he's smart, he's super talented, and he just wants to help people. He's a great guy, Virus.
Yeah, the last time I saw Virus, because you're right, he works at where I work at is the School of Rock up in Fort Washington, Pennsylvania. The last time I saw him, he actually did a show there briefly, which was and a couple of School of Rock students played there too. So he did he did a lot of stuff, and I got to talk to him for a few minutes, and he's like really, I totally agree. He's like really down to earth and awesome, and the fact that he goes from playing in like such a well-known metal band such as Dope as to he goes from that to helping kids and teenagers learn how to play an instrument.
That's awesome.
Exactly.
It's amazing.
It's amazing. Like literally, Virus is in Dope and selling out like monster venues in Moscow, and then he's coming home and hanging out with like a 9-year-old, helping them to sing and play guitar and like producing their concert. You know what I mean?
Cool.
It's fucking insane, but it's also like amazing. I love it.
Yeah.
Incredible.
It is. It's totally insane, but you know what? I mean, I think nowadays there are more guys like Virus, but there's still not enough guys and girls out there like Virus. Like, there are tons of people that won't give you the time of day, you know what I mean? But then you have like the 1 out of 10 in Virus who's there, like totally approachable, and be like, "Oh, Virus, can I maybe get some guitar lessons from you?" And he'll either do them in person or he'll Skype you or anything, you know what I mean?
That's
and he
awesome.
won't even like kill you,
Exactly.
and he won't even kill you on the price tag, you know what I mean?
He just wants to
He
give
just
back.
wants
That's
you to work.
amazing.
He wants you out there.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah,
That
it's
makes me
like,
feel
what
good.
the
Like I'm
thing
growing up a
is
little
that-
bit with this, Makes you feel good actually.
Yeah, absolutely. You see, the thing is like we're conditioned to think that someone who's played like big venues and shit, like say Virus or Roger Joseph Manning or Ken Stringfellow when he did REM, like we're conditioned to think that since they played like in all these big bands, like they don't have the time of day to just be themselves and just like help people. But they do it out of their own free time anyway, and it's just amazing,
Yeah, no, I mean they can. Roger in particular, though. Also, I saw him maybe like a year and a half ago. Him and Jason Faulkner play with Beck now,
Ah, that's awesome.
and Roger invited me out to the show, which was amazing because
Yeah.
I had never had the opportunity to meet Jason Faulkner either. So I met Jason
Oh,
Faulkner.
now
And he
you
was
got two
super
jellyfish
cool.
members.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to knock them all off my list, but it's kind of hard because some of them aren't as active as like
Do you
Jason
have
and
Andy or
Roger.
no? I was gonna say Andy's probably
I
really
wish.
tough.
And
Yeah.
Andy is like the enigma. You know what I mean? Let me tell you though. To me, Andy's like enigma way about him is so intriguing. The guy is such a genius that it's kind of scary.
Yeah, he's
So,
definitely.
He did Jellyfish, and if you've heard the Jellyfish records, guys, you know that band was like horrifying. They were just unbelievable.
They're like Dr. Seuss gone
It's
like
funny.
amazing. It's crazily awesome. They're amazing, and they're like a mix of
Listen to
Queen
those
and everything.
You
Yeah,
listen
on
to
Twitter
those
earlier
records,
today.
it's so crazy.
It's crazy. You know what's
Yeah, but,
funny?
like-
We're actually gonna have Chloe up on our show pretty soon, his daughter. So maybe, but it's a lot because I've actually had a Skype call with Chloe. Didn't expect to have a Skype call longer than like 10 minutes. It was like a good half an hour. Her and her bandmate and I were just talking, not even recording a show. And I remember this.
Now, what's the name of her band? It's like Deadbeat or something.
It's Deadbeat with
yeah.
the D's are doubled and the S's are doubled. I think. I forget. I think every letter's
Yeah,
doubled.
I've been meaning to.
I forget.
Yeah, I've been meaning to reach out to her too to see if she wanted to do something. But again, I don't. It's so weird because how many people go to her and try to get to her dad?
That
you know what I mean?
and like
God,
we're
yeah.
not for that. I mean, I would love her if she mentioned her dad. That'd be great, but I'm not gonna ask. That's very rude, But yeah, no, definitely, and a lot of people probably already have tried, which is nuts.
Yeah, and that's the thing. That's kind of like a fine line you have to tread with somebody like that because she's got like this super cult famous dad. He's
Yeah.
not like uber famous, but he's super
Definitely
cult famous. And I'm
yeah.
telling you, like when you're cult famous, like your enthusiasts are way more hardcore about you
Well, it's like
Oh,
Rocky
God,
Erickson
yeah.
and his followers. Rocky Erickson and his like cool
because it
staff.
becomes like, it becomes super geeky. You know what I mean? And like
Yeah.
because then the people that are there are like the hardcore people.
You could argue really. Yeah, you could argue really that the cult famous people are probably worse than the
Oh,
than
yeah.
the just regular famous people, just because of just because, Like they're the
Yeah, I mean,
these are
you never
these
know.
people that we idolize that just live normal lives now. And we put them on a pedestal.
Yeah.
And it shouldn't be like that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, Andy Sturmer this guy writes music for like the Cartoon Network.
Yeah.
He wrote like the theme song for like the hot new Scooby Doo show. He did Teen Titans. You know what I mean? He's
Tom and
done like
Jerry,
Winnie
too,
the
yeah.
Pooh stuff. Yes. So, I mean, look, he wants to be at home with his family. I have so much respect
He
for
has
that.
every right. Yeah.
He's probably sitting home in his studio. He gets an email being like, Andy, I need X by X date. He turns it out, gets probably
That's
the most
awesome.
disgusting paycheck on the planet, and just does his thing. As much as I would love to be like going somewhere and meeting Andy Sturmer and talking his ear off because I just want to have a conversation with
Yeah.
him, just one conversation with him before the world ends. You know what I mean? If he hears this, if Chloe hears this,
Yeah.
he has brought so much joy into my heart and soul and my life that I just want him to know that, and I just want to pick his brain for like 10 minutes. You know what I mean? It would just be so
even just
amazing.
to say hi and be
you
in the
know?
same room is like an insane
Oh
thing.
my god,
Just-
yeah.
Yeah.
Hi, and be like, look, Andy, here's like my super crazy jellyfish collection because I have
Hey.
so much shit.
And
you know
it's
what I
like,
mean?
yeah, I love.
He'll
That's why I
probably
can't
get such a-
believe.
Roger gets such a kick out of it. Jeb, I have so much jellyfish shit.
I know. I
Me
want to
and this
see
other
this
guy
stuff.
in the UK, Pablo Mellon.
Yeah, I know
Oh,
him
yeah,
too.
Pablo.
We know him too. Yeah. In
Yeah,
the group.
me and Pablo is my fucking British twin. We are the same people.
Yo, you know Kai
It is
Dansberg, right?
so ridiculous. We
You know-
talk, and I was like, I don't understand. Like, maybe we were separated at birth or something. 'cause we are the same people.
That's awesome. You know Kai Dansberg, right? The German artist.
Yeah.
I
Yeah, I know
interviewed him.
Kai.
I interviewed him, and it was very interesting for me to do because I had to speak clearly and slower. And also, he said if I mess up, could you edit it? I'm like, I can, I could try. And we did it very well. I actually got to interview him before his album, and talking about Jellyfish with him too was really fun too. So I was like, I love it. Actually, I started really liking Drake Bell now more than I used to because I learned that like he was a huge Jellyfish fan. I was like, oh, this is awesome.
Yeah, and I think he did
Drake
like
Bell.
joining a fan club
live.
cover? Was that the one
Yep.
you did?
Yeah, I just watched it the other day. I showed a friend of mine. She was like, "That's Drake Bell." I'm like, "Yep, that's the."
But okay, guys. So right here is a prime example of kind of what I was talking about earlier. You see, like the geeky circle that we're in right now, and how we all know all these people, and like we're just putting it out there in the universe, and it's gonna roll, and it's gonna snowball, and
Exactly.
you just I know X person, you know X person.
Yeah.
And it's just like this weird cosmic connection that
Well,
all
it's
of
like
us
I
kind of
met
have.
Tyler.
And it's kind of like,
It's funny how Tyler and I met to kind of go with this idea too. I saw a video of him posting one of the from the box set that's very rare. And I saw the video ahead before I even did the interview. Saw it and was like, "Do you have any more?" I left a comment on the video. And I don't know if you got that, but and I'm like, the name, because I saw your name, I'm like, that's the YouTube channel that I saw the video from. And like, didn't know that later on he was going to be my podcast partner after I do an interview with Ken. You know, I did. And Ken let me play a song for him over Skype. Like this, and I thought it was only going to be like a 15-minute interview. Turned out to be like an hour and a half. It was like, and my dad came in and said hi to him. It was great.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And
yeah.
what I had said earlier was I kind of like slept on the Posies, and I only recently discovered them, and I'm absolutely. I mean, Frosting on the Beater to me is like a crazy, scary record. It's probably like, I mean, it's flawless. You know what I mean?
And then you got Dear 23
And
right
you
before.
You guys were playing some of his solo stuff before we kind of went live. That album Touched or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm gonna probably go like on Amazon Prime in an hour and have that thing at my door in 2 days.
You're gonna
because,
love
yes,
it.
I still buy tangible.
I got it on orange vinyl.
I'm absolutely gonna love it. I can tell right away.
Oh yeah.
That's awesome. I love it.
I just want to say one thing real quick. If it weren't for the Posies, I wouldn't have gotten in the Jellyfish.
Yeah.
And also, if I didn't get in the Jellyfish,
that makes sense.
if I didn't get in the Jellyfish, I would not be talking to you guys. Right now.
It's very true.
See how it works? I'm telling you.
It's so fucking surreal. And on Twitter today, one of my friends actually retweeted a thing about the Ignorance is Bliss video, and my mind's blown because it's great that in some capacity everybody
that fan made video like the Mario Brothers cartoon. Isn't that the funniest, cutest thing?
Yeah.
Can I tell you that I went to my friend's house? I went to my friend's house this past Sunday, and I sat there with like her sister, and her kid, and I showed them that video, and they were like, "Oh my god!"
It fits so well.
It was just so funny.
You see, what's so fucking great about it is that I love that there are people my age who know who Jellyfish are in some capacity thanks to that song. Like I would argue that Ignorance is Bliss is probably their biggest hit compared to everything else, and it didn't even go on the charts. It was just like a one-off song.
It didn't go anywhere. White Knuckle Scoring. It was on White Knuckle Scoring in like the early '90s. But let me tell you what you're saying, Tyler. Jellyfish. Now I can't be quoted on this necessarily because I don't know if this is a fact or not. But in my eyes and how I see things now, I think Jellyfish is the most popular they have ever been at this moment than they were 25
They're
years
a cult
ago.
classic band. That's the definition of a cult classic band. They really are. It shows because I think kids are wanting this weirder stuff, and they're so good.
Right. People caught on to Jellyfish way later. I don't know if they were like too early or just too
I love their Badfinger cover of No Matter What to death. And it's so. And Badfinger was another cult classic band too, from like the 70s. The next Beatles, pretty much.
Yeah, I don't know, guys. You guys are killing me right now because
we gotta have you on again. We have to have you on again for that night. Yeah. That would be because it would just be a whole nerd out night. We could just a 4-hour stream, So yeah, we'll.
No, I mean I love it. And
we'll wrap it up in a little bit. We got some more time, but yeah, that's awesome. But no, that's great. Sorry
No,
for
it
cutting
is.
you
It's
off there.
awesome. No, they're a band too that I don't think we'll ever get back together
No, it's
because of
sadly, yeah.
Fine, actually. Jellyfish is one of my absolute favorite, most beloved bands, but I kind of don't want them to get back together because their whole kind of like
Yeah.
mystique, the mystique of Jellyfish makes it that much more fun.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what makes
Which
them
might
so
sound
great.
kind of crazy, you know what I mean? But I mean, if Jellyfish got back together, trust me, I would be like, all right, family, friends, responsibilities, I'm gonna go be at every fucking Jellyfish show.
Yeah, you have to pick us up.
Business,
You
and
have
I'm gonna be selling the mother effing Jellyfish merch, man, guaranteed.
Oh my god, yeah.
Anyway, but you know,
Yeah.
wishful thinking, I guess. But you know, we
I
all
thought
have
it'd be cool
our
since
fun fantasy.
this is an amazing time. If you know, we could time and I didn't. We're gonna run the album again for the because it's the release party and everything. I'll run that again. But it sucks because I can't put Jellyfish live, you know, because they have copyright. So I would love to throw up some Jellyfish songs. But in a little bit, I'm gonna run the album through again because these guys got to hear it. Throw it up again so the live stream has it, just so it's there. So when I put the title of the video as album release party, there's an album. But we still got more time. I just wanted to mention that I'm planning for that. But other than that, this is incredible, and this is why I'm glad that I had asked you because I knew in my head if you were able to come on, you can give some inspiration to somebody that's in this chat right now because we actually do have a live audience with us, guys. They're just really, really, really well listening, and I really appreciate that, guys. It was actually unique. There's actually more than just Tyler.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, thanks for listening to me ramble. I appreciate it. I hope you had fun and enjoyed one of my fun kooky stories because I love telling them.
Yeah, it was great.
I
I'm
enjoyed them.
gonna run through the album one more time. I think if I can plug it in correctly, I think I can figure out how to do this again. It's gonna have double audio, so I have to mute the mic. But that's the mixer. Oh yeah, I'm just gonna.
So I know this is live. Do you guys capture this?
So it's
as well as your
I'm gonna save it
recording?
as soon as this is done. So like I'm gonna run the album through, so it's on here, and I'm gonna run it through my mixer. But I'm trying to figure out how I might have to mute my desktop audio, so you guys will hear it, but the stream won't, and I have to figure all this stuff out. But I'll figure out and all that. But I will be able to save it.
Our conversation recorded at all, or is it's live? It's total.
It's live, but I can pull it down. And it's both.
Point.
I could do both. It's up on Twitch, and I can download it.
I mean, if you rerun it or whatever, let me know.
Oh, I will.
I'll plug it. I'll put it up there.
I'm gonna post it right on our channel. Let's go on
on.
Alternative
Yeah,
Dudes. This is
definitely,
one of those spur of the moment Alternative Dude episodes that we've been planning to do, right? So
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I
No,
this will be perfect.
it. So let me know.
Perfect. Yeah, I'll let you know as soon as it's up. I'll send you the link. Thank you so much. All right, I think I'm gonna run the album, and I'm using OBS.
Yes,
if anybody's asking for streaming, thank you, my cousin, for answering for me. Hey, what's up, Wind? Anyway, so we're gonna run the thing again, and so if you have to go, you have to go, or you can listen to the album again. I don't mind. I really appreciate this again.
You know what happens? I gotta get rolling. I've been
Yep.
sitting in my car with cold tofu,
geez.
so I gotta figure out the.
yeah. Thank you so
gotta,
much. I really
I gotta
appreciate
get
this.
Gotta get to my crew over here and take care of some responsibilities. But
And when we
thanks
have
for
Chloe
giving-
on, maybe we
thanks for
can have
giving
you
a
on
shit,
too.
guys.
Maybe we can have you on too when we have Chloe
Yeah,
on.
that-
We'll try to figure that out for you.
Yeah,
I would love to
John,
do
it
that.
was yeah, John, it was so fucking great to talk to you, man. After like having you on my friend list for like God knows how long now. This was great, man.
I appreciate it. I'm honored. I'm flattered, guys. You know, thanks for giving a shit.
This means a lot
and,
to me. Thank you so much.
Let me know if you ever need anything. Just let me know. If there's
Hey,
anything
and let
that
me
I
know
can
if
ever
you're in the
do.
Connecticut area, like you said. I'd love to grab lunch with you sometime. That'd be awesome. My dad and I
Yeah,
can
I mean,
meet up.
Or
One
if
of my
you're in the Philly
sisters-
area.
I was in Philly last year, actually.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so was
which was
Pablo
for my
Malin.
birthday. A couple of my friends, like, we just drove up there and we went to like the Mutter Museum and did a few other like weird, creepy things. We went to Edgar Allan Poe's place and
Oh,
stuff. It was
cool.
really fun.
Dude,
But
awesome.
I will
man.
let you guys know for sure, and I would love to,
Definitely,
you
yeah.
know, catch up.
All right, awesome.
All right, cool, man. Yeah, you have a good one. All right.
All right. Thank
So
you
when
so
it's
much.
out there, I'll plug
Yeah.
around. All right.
And thank you. Plug my
Definitely
album too if you
do.
can. That'd be awesome. Sorry, self-promotion, but that'd be great.
No, you got to do it. You
All right,
see, that's
I appreciate
you got to
it,
do
Ben,
that
definitely.
thing that you just did. So
All right, I will
I'll
do it.
speak to you guys again.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
All right,
See you, man.
Oh.
All right, see you guys.
All right.
Dude, that was so fucking great.
Oh yeah, dude, I am nerding out right now completely. Oh, this is great, and this is fun too. It was fun talking about the band stuff.
Mm.
You have to click on the general chat again, and then hit end call. It's a little confusing. So like where you are, and then you hit the end call. Discord's very confusing. We'll figure this out.
Yes. Yes, it
I'm gonna
is.
run the album one more time, and then I'm all set for tonight. Just gonna run it one more time so it's in the stream. Hey everybody that's in the chat now, thank you for being here the whole time. You don't have to be here for the second running of the album. I don't mind. You've already heard it. This was an incredible night. This is insane, and I hope you guys got some cool words of advice from Soda himself. He's an amazing guy, and I didn't realize all that stuff about him even more than I knew he was something. But it's awesome. It's incredible. So that was cool because we have another podcast episode, Tyler. Like that was awesome.
Yeah,
I didn't expect that. Like this is one of those ones where you're not expecting it. No, not planned. I wrote no questions out. That was one of the perfect ones ever. You know.
Real quick before I go, because I'm gonna be leaving in a few minutes. Is it all right if I plug my other podcast?
Oh hell yeah, go ahead.
All right. Okay. So I do another podcast. This is less music based and more so like what's it called? Like more like film.
Well, you said like comic book, like nerd out
web
kind of
media
stuff.
Kind of stuff.
Like comic like nerd.
Yeah, that kind of stuff. It's called the Not Another Interview Show podcast. It's kind of slowly but surely getting there. I only have one episode so far, but I have some guests that I'm talking to at the moment that aren't really like finalized, but we're kind of working there. I can tell you that the next episode will most likely be an interview with Kevin Kelly, Jeff Wilkinson, and Jolie Darrow of the web show Welcome to Anadonia.
Oh sweet. Well, I want to watch that.
It's
I want to
really-
watch that.
I highly recommend checking it out. They just have a second season that's going to be coming out soon, so we're going to be mainly talking about that. And then
Sweet.
no promises, but if any of you are familiar with the show All That, which I'm sure a lot of you have grown up with,
Oh, I know
I'm
that.
trying to get to do some interviews with some people involved
Oh,
in
that's.
honor of the
See,
reboot.
you're keeping what I'm doing. Oh, this is cool because your side. It's like similar to the music thing, but it's not, and that's cool, man. All right, I'm gonna run the album
I
one more
don't
time.
want to
but
say
I wanna
who
let
I
you-
have involved
All right.
at the moment that they're interested, so we'll kind of see where that goes.
Well, guys, follow it. What's the name of your podcast again? So they have the channel and all that.
The Not Another Interview Show podcast.
All right, perfect. All right, guys, I'm gonna run the
Our
album through
first-
for
yeah,
this.
My first episode is an interview with Jason Gerbet.
Oh yeah,
He's
that's right.
a
The Mask.
filmmaker who directed a reboot of the Mask.
And it was more based
It's
on the
more
comic
so-
book one, right?
Yeah.
That's awesome. I think you mentioned. I gotta watch
Have
that still. You sent it to me.
By the way?
What?
Have you checked it out?
I've watched a little bit. I didn't finish. I liked hearing like you do a really good job. Like it's different because I'm so used
I'm
to.
talking about the movie,
Oh no, I haven't seen the movie yet. I want to see it.
dude. It's so good.
All right, guys. Let me.
Watch the movie first, and then listen to my interview with it. Highly recommend it.
All right, perfect. We'll do. And I'll rewatch the interview. All right, guys. We're gonna start off with the special angel.
Will make more sense.
Well, yeah, it makes definitely. All right, guys, that was Tyler FG, guys, one of my best podcast partners, and we've actually got to nerd out with one of my favorite famous people now, right? He's awesome. He's just a normal human. Jon Soda James, everybody, shout out to you for being here. And now I'm going to play the album through one more time again, so hopefully it'll sound good.
All right, cool. I'm gonna roll out, man. I'll see you later, all right?
All right, see you, my dude.
All right, I don't know.
Realize that it's not playing. But see you later, man. All right, but we're going
See
to
ya.
run the album through again. Let me just switch my mics over. Am I on the right mic? I'm on the right mic. It's doing it again. Oh, I had the mute bar down. This is Special Angel album preview. coming from nowhere into my life. Seem like someone I could know. Don't you head out to space without me, 'cause I wanna spend the rest of my days with someone like you. You remind me of someone that will be here to rescue me from despair. You are the guardian angel, but sometimes I wonder if there's a demon in there. 'Cause, Bill, you're too real to be the one that I'm thinking of constantly. But I wanna spend another time with you. You're like a special angel, always around when I need you. You're like a special angel now. Don't go to space without me. Don't leave the ground without me. I wanna become one with your ways of thinking, baby. You set me Communications towers, taking for liftoff into space. Suited just for one, but there could have been two. Don't leave the ground without me. Don't leave the ground without me. Special angel. Pictures in my head, triangles in my soul. Have you ever thought about the dead, or seen some souls? Well, my head is over here and my body's over there, but my soul, I quite don't know where that's been. I'm feeling the triangles in my head are not the same between you and me. I know it's just a question, but you seem to leave after my profession. I said I loved you, but you walked away, and I went crazy from the start of this story. There's triangles in my head, in my heart, holes that lead to nowhere. I'm starting to dart out of this world when my mind's a start and yours is the stopping me. Why are you stopping me? You said you didn't want me. You're round in your circles, but all I see is triangles over there. Triangles in my hair. Triangles over there. It's where my head is. My head's over there, and my body's still here. Where's my soul been? Have you seen my soul been? And I don't know what I've done to be correct. What I've seen to be detached. Why did I agree to do this act in my head? My brain triangles, your brain is circles. You come around and said, but why don't you join my friendship? I said I would, but the triangles stop me from going to the woods. Have you seen a ghost? No. Have you been insane? No. But have you know my name? No. Drama starts with planes? No. My head's over here, my body's over there. All I see is what's my soul becoming clear. It's becoming clear. The captain comes home, sees the cup of coffee on the table that's always has been and never will change. The captain comes home, checking on the table. The coffee he made ain't the same when he was stable, baby. Why'd you change the captain's coffee? Now he's in a fit. He's angry quite a bit, 'cause someone changed his coffee today. Baby, why'd you change the captain's coffee anyway? You didn't have to change it. You know he's just gonna get angry. Changing the captain's coffee is the worst mistake you could make. He doesn't take sugar, no, he doesn't take cream. He drinks it straight black from the pot. If you change it around, I'm surely he will never find you, 'cause you will be dead again. Don't change the captain's coffee, he'll be really angry. Don't change the captain's coffee, he will be angry just like me. If you were to leave me, I'd be angry too, 'cause you don't change my coffee. But why'd you change his? Why did you change the captain's coffee? You know he's really gonna be angry. He's been around for a long, long time. Why did you change the captain's coffee? Why'd you change the captain's coffee? Captain's coffee. You could have bought him tea, he wouldn't care. But if you change the way his coffee is, well, why'd you gotta change the captain's coffee? Why'd you gotta change his coffee? Why'd you gotta change the captain's coffee? Why'd you gotta change his coffee? Running home, he comes in the door, he says, hey, I need my coffee, and you give it to him. Oh, why'd you gotta change it? Now he's under the ruins, baby. Why did you change the captain's coffee? Why did you change the captain's tea? Why did you never buy him anything for Valentine's Day? 'Cause the captain is mad at you. Now you gotta run, I swear, you gotta get out of here. He's gonna kill me for offering Different beast at night without the light leaves me silent, starting to become a little violent. Why is it at night I find myself fighting my demons? But during the day I leave all my fears on the lonely isle. I'm a different animal who wants to break free from the cage, just to be myself in the shell I made to sell. Hey, why is it at night I find myself fighting my demons, but during the day I leave all my fears on the lonely isle? Don't tell me to hide with no thoughts to seek me. Don't tell me to hide, don't make a mess with no thoughts to seek me without easing the stress. Why is it at night I find myself fighting my demon? During the day I leave all my fears on the lonely isle. On the lonely isle. On the lonely isle. Don't tell me to hide with no thoughts to seek me.
She's not an angel, nor is she a devil. She's just a cosmic being from outer space. But no one seems to want to understand another gentle human woman just like herself. I don't understand at all when she makes me smile, and I'm falling for her. Cosmic Lily from another planet. You got the tools to change it. You make me smile. Cosmic Lily, you're the next adventure away. You send me into places. Mind is happy now. Cosmic Lily. Cosmic being from outer space, not a planet like Mars. It's so damn far. Remind me of a thing I used to know. The memories faded, and I just wanna be by your side. Cosmic Lily, wanna find a way. I wanna find a way. I wanna find a way. I wanna find a way to be yours. Lily, you're just another being from space. You got my mind wrapped up in the taste of the stars and cosmos all written on your face. You remind me of another memory I can't quite remember right now. Cosmic Lily, Cosmic Lily, Cosmic Lily, Cosmic now. You're not an angel, you're not a devil, you're just another being from space. Cosmic Lily, Lily, Lily.
The world is a friend of mine. If the world was not so damn unkind, see what they did to my big hairy friend. Bigfoot was shot this morning. See, they took my friend for granted and his big hairy knowledge. Yes, they took my friend for granted when they scalped him for a price. My friend Bigfoot is long and gone. Littlefoot is me if you think about it wrong. Bigfoot, I'm sorry you had to go because some humans spilled the beans. 'Cause along in the woods we went for rides in the forest trees. We thought we'd never. Along in the woods we ran away from every problem I thought I would wait. Bigfoot was a friend of mine who never did anything that was unkind. Wait, Bigfoot was a friend of mine who never did anything that was unkind. Traveling through the woods, I saw my Bigfoot friend. He was dead on arrival, and I was sad to see him go. Little feet, big feet. Little feet, big feet. Wanna 2 feet. How many feet does we all need?
I hope you guys like this one. This is a little odd one, but I just had fun doing a little, like, reminded me of being like a campfire at a Boy Scouts meeting or something. So we pulled out a guitar to play that little rhythm. I don't know where I remember that from, but hit in my head and I made this song. It's a little odd one. It was fun. This whole album, I hope you guys, thank you so much for just chilling and listening for so long and just being there for all the bands I've been through. And exciting news, you guys should check out Jebb and Slim as well. Got some albums coming out pretty soon too. It's exciting. But the Sane Riot's getting back together too. So a lot of good stuff going on. Just very happy and pleased to release this little EP for you. I got 2 albums coming out next too as well on my own, but a lot of fun.